morning, everybody, and welcome to the Coffee Break Podcast. My name is Zach Graveson from FJ & Associates, and with me is the man with the financial plan, Christian Fournier, and we are December 29th, a Friday. But if you're listening to this, we made it to 2024. It is January 1st. This is going to be released on the Monday, the first Monday of the year. It kind of works perfectly. Chris, how are we doing?
We're doing great. It's been an incredible year with a lot of things happen in 2023, and I'm excited to get 2024 going. So it's been great. I can't complain.
Yeah, same here. And that's why we're actually doing it a little bit early, because we couldn't wait for 2024. You know, still in the holiday season and all that. So we decided to do it a little bit in advance, not the day of. But yeah, lots of things to talk about. I mean, we're starting off the new year. We're closing out the last one. So today we want to talk about what are the things that you should be thinking about for your personal finances going into the year of 2024. Interest rates, you know, basically an outlook on 2024 and big topics, one of them being interest rates. Are they finally going to go down? Are they going to hold steady? Are they even going to go up some more? I doubt it, but we will talk about that. Other things that are going to affect people financially is the U.S. presidential elections. They always affect the market in one way or another. So we're going to talk a bit about why that affects the markets and what to expect. And after that, well, me and Chris have been very adamant about calling 2024 the year of action. So we will tell you a bit about what's coming up at FJ & Associates and our new company that's going to be focused more around helping business owners. So we will get into that. But first, Chris, as I said, the man with the financial plan. What should people be thinking about going into the new year? Where should their head be at? And in terms of personal planning, how can you help them out?
If we want to understand a bit what this should be doing in the new year, I think we have to look a bit what happened in 2023. A lot of people expected a big recession. We like to think we can predict and know exactly, Zach, where the markets are going to go. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, you would have asked the best economists where they thought the S&P would finish, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P TSX, the bond market. I don't think they know where we'd ended. Look, the S&P as of today will probably close above 24% of a yearly gain for this year. Got the Dow Jones at 13, the NASDAQ at 44, the TSX close to 8%, Russell at 16%, close to 17%. It's been an incredible year. When we send out our letters to our clients, Zach, what we tell them is they have to maintain the cap. If you're young, you're in stocks, you're in equities, you're in growth, maintain that long-term horizon. There are going to be bad years. There's going to be years that the markets are doing great, and sometimes we don't expect it. So just to follow your plan, your asset allocation through your investment policy statement, what you're comfortable with, that's the best way to ensure long-term success. Because, you know, if you try to start timing the market, it's an old cliche, but time in the market beats timing the market. We've seen it this year again. Just stick to what you know, be well diversified, have an investment plan, and have a reason to be doing things. So what I'm doing for my clients 2024 is making sure they're optimized. First of all, what does that mean? So TFSA limit 2024, it's going to be at $7,000. So that's the one thing I'm going to be looking to optimize for my clients and max that out. RSP limit, $31,560 is that new amount for 2024. What does that mean? So if you're making over $175,000, I believe it's $300, you can max out your RSP as well. So what I do with my high income earners, people that are making a lot of money, Zach, we're looking at maximizing their TFSA and their RSP. On the TFSA side, that's pretty much $583.33 a month to max that out. On the RSP,
$135 a week.
Oh, there we go. Thanks for the calculation. Yeah. I didn't calculate on a weekly basis. And on the RSP side, it's $26.30 per month if you want to max that out. So if for a total, you're looking at about $3,200 a month. You know, you'll be maximizing both sides. We have people doing more than that. So what do? They go into non-registered. So I want to make sure that you maximize the tax optimization of your investments. I mean, $1 saved in taxes, Zach, is 100% return. So we aim to do that. And then from there, Well, some of our clients or some people listening to this may ask, well, what if we don't have 3,200 or 500 or et cetera to put aside? Start planning. Make sure you have 3 months of an emergency savings aside, 6 months, depending on your situation. So build that financial security. That when we meet our clients, Zach, you're that first point of entry for our clients. Why? You do the risk management side.
Mhm.
So you plan for those, what we call these black swan events. I've been reading up a lot on Nassim Nicholas Taleb recently, and it's these small, improbable actions or events that can cause the greatest risk. And you see it all the time. If there's a death in the family of one of your young clients with a young kid, it's catastrophic what it's going to do to their long-term plan and health. So, you know what? It's just making sure that foundation's in place and that there's a plan in place. I
And
think
I
if
saw
you
it
have,
this week again, or not
yeah,
this week, last week, sorry. Another GoFundMe for a
another one.
funeral. It
Yeah.
kills me. It kills me every time I see it. It's 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 not a big investment to set aside money for someone's sorry, not retirement plan, their funeral expenses.
Yeah.
But we see it all the time with GoFundMe. And this wasn't someone who was young, because usually when someone is like very young,
Mm-hmm.
then it's almost more understandable, because you never thought that this person would be at risk of passing away so early and all that. But this was someone else who was probably at least at retirement age, who didn't have anything in place, and now the family is doing a GoFundMe, and last I checked, it was at $400. Like,
Wow.
we see it all the time. A funeral in Canada, you're looking at ten to easily $25,000, depending on how you want the ceremony to be. And everybody has their ideal ceremony, how they want to be, kind of sent off.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I don't want to get into that today. It's the holidays. We're in a good mood. We're
Yeah.
in a good spirit. But just to say that I see it all the time, poor planning again. And that's what we do with risk management. My role at FG and Associates is really to sit down with our clients and see, with their financial structure as of today, where are they vulnerable?
Mm-hmm.
And usually the first one is, do we have an adequate emergency fund? Then after that, we look at insurance protections. And then if they're self-employed, well, then, disability is really important. So, but yeah, sorry. I just had to plug that in,
No,
that
I
it's,
appreciate it.
but we're always going to see it. That's why part of what we do now is we're trying to get the word out so more people become aware. Because again, darn it, we're going into another year where financial literacy isn't a
Yeah.
focal point in every single school. And that's one of the missions that we're on at FG and Associates. Financial literacy needs to be more present. And so far, I think on my end, there's 2 presentations coming up, one in a high school, one in a more senior group on financial literacy. And it's something we're going to
That's it.
keep doing and keep emphasizing to spread the word on financial literacy, because it could help so many people. And my fiance worded it perfectly this week, where she has a bit of a medical background, so the wording, you'll recognize it. But she was saying that the mistake that we're doing is we're treating the symptom and not the cause, not the
Mm-hmm.
actual thing
Mm-hmm.
that's causing the symptoms. We're treating the symptoms. Like when we hear now they're talking about a universal basic income in Canada,
Yeah.
that to me is treating the symptom and not the actual cause. If people knew how to save money, put money aside and everything, then we can actually help these people. But anyways.
No, I totally agree. A little on the risk management side. And what's good is, as our clients, they start dealing with us, they kind of start thinking like us as well. Give you an
Mhm.
example. My parents called me, and my grandmother was coming down for the New Year's, actually, unexpected. So it was a nice little
Nice.
surprise. First thing I asked, all right, did you guys get travel insurance for her? Oh,
Because
no, we
she's coming
didn't.
from
From
Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah, good
Okay.
question. So she's from Mexico. She's coming from Mexico, coming to Canada, 75 years old. And so they said, oh, she's coming down. First question, oh, did you guys get travel insurance? Oh, no, we didn't think of that. Well, that's,
Yeah.
perfect. Look, we'll find something. They found something, $60 a month, 1.5 million. If anything happens, it's huge. I've heard stories of people having to remortgage their property, losing
Wow.
everything because someone came, they weren't insured. And so it's just proper planning. And that's what I want us to do for our clients, for the people listening for 2024. It comes down to goal setting. You've talked about it, Zach. Reverse engineering, having a plan in place. You're not just in the ocean roaming without any navigation. You know where you're heading. So yeah, that's my big goal for 2024 on the FG&A side, and on the corporate side, we'll be doing the exact same thing, just with different tools and measures for our business clients.
Yeah, and before we shift into more of the outlook of 2024, there's something you mentioned earlier that I even forgot about, but I do want to spend at least a few minutes on because it was a trigger word in 2023. But
Yep.
recession.
Yep.
What are you seeing right now? Because we heard that 2023 was going to be a recession, and now it seems like inflation is easing up. Interest rates are potentially going to start going down. I'm not expecting it to go down early 2024, maybe in the second half or even the last quarter. But um, from what you're seeing, because obviously everything we say here should never be taken as gospel. It's not set in stone. But are we expecting a recession? Are those fears kind of gone, or what's your opinion on
I'm
that?
expecting an economic slowdown. I mean, we see it in the headlines. FedEx too just announced lowered outlook, less demand than expected. But with that said, depends on how the markets will react to it. If the recession is less painful than expected, the markets may continue to do well. So it's really tough. And that's why I come back to the basics where I say, look, follow your asset allocation. If you're getting closer towards retirement, I'll make sure that we have a safety basket. So if shit hits the fan, pardon my language, but we have cash on hand. My
Mhm.
clients need 2 years of cash. I'll be able to send them 2 years of worth of money on a monthly basis without stressing that the fact that the market may be down 10%, 15%, 20%. So it can happen. What happens with recessions, incredible opportunities. We saw it in 2020 when the markets dropped significantly with COVID, the amount of money that was made as well. I think we're in this new era of all that, not the fact that everything is so quick. I mean, we react quick, emotions, but we go in quick. So people know when things are down, they want to buy. So they see something down, they'll just start buying. One thing I will say though is that I think it's important for the 2024 planning. People might look at their statements, okay, and they might see that the Nasdaq did 44% last year. Unfortunately, how people are wired psychologically, their first thing they're going to think of is boom, Nasdaq did 44%. That's where the money is going to be made in 2024. Look, it may
Mhm.
be, but the probabilities are, the chances are, it won't replicate again another year. It might be the one that, if there is a recession, is down the most. So you have to rebalance, have your plan in place, stick to the plan, and make sure you're well guided and you don't fall for these behavioral finance pitfalls that you can fall into once in a while.
And before we go into more big picture stuff, what would be if someone is just starting out, they just finished university, and let's say just for their parents paid for their education so they don't have to tackle student debt.
Yeah.
What is number one, the first thing you would tell them to do? They're starting their new job January 16th.
Perfect. New job. First thing I tell all my clients, it's not even something that I can control. I tell them, make sure that you go and ask your human resource department
Mm.
if there's a pension plan in place. And if there is, before you put any dollar amount with me, make sure you're maximizing the amount that they're maximizing. Simply said, if they can put four, if the employer says, look, we'll match up to 4% of your salary, you put four, they put four, free money, do it. So that's one of the first things that I will tell my clients. And if they're young and they're started, this is actually a story. My last meeting before the year ended, Zach, a young client. She was referred to me by an existing client. She wants to put money aside, and she understood a concept that I didn't even have to explain to her. So she was putting money aside on a systematic basis, and she said, "You know what? I want to be 100% in stocks because if the market drops down by 30%, I'm just putting X amount a month. Like it's not the full blown capital. It's not 500K that I just put in and it drops down by
Mhm.
that. It's like I'll be buying it at a discount." So that's something that
Wow.
usually you have to tell these people, like, all right, well, you're systematically buying in. It's actually okay and it's good. And I'd rather it start in bad years where you're just accumulating more and more and more. She understood that. So that was nice. But yeah, so pension plan and start putting that money aside and let us do the optimizing. Let us No, okay, we'll do it in FHSA, TFSA, RSP. We know how to optimize these situations for our clients. We do it on a daily basis, and that's it.
Nice. All right. So now the things I wanted to get into is, well, two things, and we're already at the 15-minute mark. So
Okay.
I'll let you pick, Chris. You get to pick which one you want to jump on what could affect our clients or just overall investors or people with their financial plans, either interest rates or the U.S. presidential election that's coming up next November, because that always seems to, leading up to the election and post election, that always has an effect on the market. So what do you want to talk about more, the interest rates or
Uh,
how our neighbors down south are going to affect the
you know
markets?
what? I'll talk about the interest rates for two reasons. One, I think it's what's going to affect us more here in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and two, because with the political landscape right now, it's so difficult to even know where it's going. Where was it? The state of Colorado? Was it Colorado that um,
Yeah.
forbid Trump from being on the ballot? Next thing you know, he's back on. Then today it's
Now,
Maine. Was it
yeah,
Maine? Now
it's
he's
Maine. Yeah.
so is he gonna have to do this for 50 states? There's just so much uncertainty. It's gonna be. I'm excited to see how it all trickles down, and we never know. Sometimes people thought when Trump came in during his last presidency that the markets would crash. Yet they rallied and they rallied. So it's. But I'm excited to see that. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Okay.
As far as the rates go, we saw that they peaked in 2024. The U.S. 10-year rate hit
2023.
2023. Look, I'm already thinking about that
Yeah,
new year.
good. Well, this coming out in 2024, so your mind's at the
Exactly.
right
So
place.
so they peaked in 2023. They hit that 5% rate. They've gone down significantly since October, November, where they're at about 3.86. Um, why does it affect us so much as Canadians, especially Canadians? Our economy is so tied to borrowing. We need to borrow to sustain what we need. When we buy properties, we buy houses, etc. And what's tougher, Zach, it's that our generation, we've been used to this low rate environment where we basically had that free money.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to get used to, I quote unquote, a higher rate environment. It's not really a higher rate environment. It's just maybe a normal rate environment where it's been
Higher,
at
but
higher,
yeah.
exactly where it's been at. But people are going to need to focus as if they're going to stay at these rates and plan accordingly. So if someone wants to buy a house, yes, it's going to help them that the rates are going down, but they have to bank on the fact that maybe they are going to stay higher than they have been in the past few years. Um, if they have to choose between investing or paying off the debt, they might prioritize to pay off that debt since it is at a much higher rate than it was before. If you're
Mm-hmm.
paying off something at 7%, it's like you're guaranteeing that you're making 7% on that money in a
Mm-hmm.
certain way. So it's going to be trade offs. They have to plan accordingly. I don't want the interest rate situation to be a frame for their goals because I don't see them going up any higher than what they're at. I think we
Mm-hmm.
had hit that peak at 5%. So for them to say, well, they might get worse, I don't think so. It might even get better. There'll be opportunities. Even if the rates are going down, though, there are going to be people that are going to feel a lot of pain because they're due to renewal, and they had last they renewed they were below 2%. Now they're going to be between 3, 4, 5%. The rates are still high, so they have to get used to it, brace for it, and what that does, it trickles down to everything. When they go to the grocery store, they'll have less to buy on the cookies that they would have wanted, or if they go to the restaurant, they might not have two drinks. They might just order one drink, or might not even order any drinks and just pre-drink before. So it is
Mm-hmm.
going to have an effect on the consumer, and what that does, it's they have less money to spend, so then companies make less profit. But I was hearing something, Zach. It was alarming. I don't know if it was on CNNBC or, anyways, an article. People are having a lot of anxiety about money, understandably.
Yeah.
Yet they're still spending as much. For them,
Wow.
it's like, you know what? I'm pushing it aside. Like, I'm stressing about it, but who cares? I'll deal with it another day. And now that is a problem. And that's what I'm worried about.
The biggest luxury you can do for yourself is increase your income but maintain the same cost of living.
That's so
And
well said, Zach. Expand a bit more on that because I want to add something to that after. But I
yeah,
totally agree.
because here I'm talking of personal experience, but as you know, Chris, and as I've mentioned, I believe on the podcast once before, but when I quit my job and my girlfriend at the time, fiance now, quit school August 16th of 2021. I did so poor planning where the money I had planned was locked in and I couldn't access that money. So I started going into debt, credit card debt at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to really adjust our cost of living because I just quit my job. So I didn't even have money coming in. She just quit school. So now she was starting a new kind of career path and all that. So let's just say that if we both made minimum wage, we would have made more money that year,
Yep.
but we adjusted our cost of living and we got used to it, and now we're very happy at that cost of living. And obviously now, we were able to, what that helped us do is our expenses stayed relatively the same other than inflation,
Mm-hmm.
but now we started making more money. So that surplus, we set money aside, we are able to buy a house, we are able to get engaged. And now this year, both, now she's up for potentially a promotion, and then us business is growing, actually expanding to new markets with the corporate side. So
Yeah.
things are going better and better. But our cost of living, we got used to looking at discounts before going to the groceries and pretty much figuring out what we're going to eat this week based off what's on special. And
Yep.
it's good because it switches it up. Like I used to do a list before going to the grocery store just based off what I wanted to eat that week. But now we just, she looks at what's on discount this week and boom, okay, well, we're gonna eat chicken this week and we're gonna eat some pork chops and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how we do. But the income keeps on rising, so the surplus is bigger and bigger. And this is the first year that now all the gifts are done and all that. We still have a few holiday parties, but it's the first year that I'm starting without carrying some debt from the holiday season.
Yeah.
Everything's paid off. Both our credit cards are paid off. We just did that this morning. So December 29th, everything is paid off. We're
I
even.
love it.
And now we're starting the new year. And again, accumulating, putting money aside. So that's one thing that I'd say one of the biggest luxuries is really being able to uh, increase your income but maintain your cost of living. And then at some point you're going to be able to increase the cost of living. Like for example, us now, the house, we're paying a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
in mortgage payments than we were before. But to kind of come back to the whole mortgage payments thing, the interest rates and all that, I see too many people, and some of them my clients, that are been waiting for 2 years. They have the down payment, but they're just saying, I want to wait till interest rates get better. It's not the right time. It's not the right time. Well, we might never see 1.3% interest rate for your mortgage again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had at first. It was variable, so it went up to 6.3. Now I have a 5-year fixed, and people might say, "Oh, well, the interest rates are going to go down. Why would you take fixed and all?" Because despite what happens, first of all, it fits the budget, and second of all, I know that with whatever happens, I don't have to worry about what happens in the news. Whatever
Yeah.
happens, 5 years from now, 20% of the house is paid off. Well, 20% of the mortgage is paid off, I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
because we're increases in value. But that's the main thing for me. And it's, if you want to be a homeowner, you have the down payment, start now and start getting equity in your house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's I think I'd put it even as a goal for people to do in 2024 is increase your income but maintain your cost of living.
I think simply said, Zach, that's the secret to financial success.
Yeah.
I mean, you increase the money you make, you're able to put more aside, you spend less, you have more. It's as simple as that. It's tougher to actually do, but like if there was one formula on how to get rich, it's pretty much that.
Yeah, it's
Increase
tough
money
because
in.
it's
Yeah.
discipline and it's long term and it's not
Mm-hmm.
instant. And you see people getting new cars and new this and new that. But
It's
I'm
not
sure you
easy.
see it all the time, Chris. There's so many people that have the nice car, the nice this and nice that, but then their lawnmower is financed.
Yeah.
Like everything's
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
payment plan. So yeah, we see a lot of that.
I totally agree with you. I don't have anything to add to that. It's well
All
said.
right. Well, we got another around 5 minutes. So I just want us to close this podcast by putting out in the universe what we're planning for 2024, what our vision is for our now two companies. and what we wish for other people. But this past month, December, the first few 3 weeks, I'd say we were actually pretty busy. We didn't really stop. I thought
Hmm.
we'd have more time to plan for the year ahead than we actually did. But one thing that's been almost in all our emails, this is how I've been finishing emails. Is 2024 is the year of action.
Yeah.
2023 was our year transition. Why? Because Chris, you had your son right before the new year, so that was a transition for you.
Yep.
You went from the South Shore of Montreal to Quebec City. I
Yep.
went from the north of the island of Montreal to
Exactly.
back to my hometown in Sherbrooke. So there's a lot of transitioning, and also it was our first year with actually being FG and Associates working together. First year marketing the firm and all that, and also the year kind of we took the year to do our certification for being certified exit planning advisors. So that was also kind of the brewing of a new market that we were going to attack. And now in 2024, we're ready. FG and Associates is rolling, is growing, it's doing great. And now we have our new company, which I'll hold on the name because it won't be FG corporate compliance reasons. But we will be announcing in 2024 the new company, which is going to be specifically to help business owners sell their companies. And without getting too much into that, what you guys can expect from us in 2024 is still the break weekly podcast. That won't stop. We have a lot of business owners waiting right now to do our founders series, which is going to be speaking to them about their journey and kind of giving them a platform to talk about their journey as an entrepreneur and hopefully inspire people listening to embark on their own entrepreneurial journey. And on top of that, we're going to have a weekly blog specifically for entrepreneurs. We're going to have a newsletter, again, catered to people who own businesses already or who to aspire to owning businesses. We're going to have monthly webinars for exit planning. So business owners out there, if you want to learn more about why you should be thinking about exit planning right now and why it's good business strategy, not only to increase the value of your business in the future, but to increase profitability today, we're going to have monthly webinars that we're going to be hosting. On top of that, the podcast and potentially, we don't have too many details on that, but I'm putting it out there in the universe, like I told you before the podcast, Chris.
Exactly.
But an event in the summer of 2024 that I'm very excited for. So on that, yeah, I kind of put it all on the table, Chris. But what are you looking for the new year with what we have going on and all the projects that we talked about and the vision of 2024 being the year of action?
What I'm looking forward to the most is just getting it done. I
Mm,
mean, we've worked so much on, all right, we're going to have X, Y, Z done by this and that. We have so many projects that are going to add so many values to our personal clients, to our corporate clients, and it's just getting it done. My book, you should see the book reading list I got ready for 2024, Zach. On 2 days ago, I sat down. I think I bought close to 40 books, and I was just
oh,
loading up the cart, just go, go, go. And from all types of books, a lot of philosophy stuff too, Zach,
nice.
Meditations by Marcus
Hey,
Aurelius.
it's on my list too.
Some, yeah, and I've been starting it highlighting. So it's going to be a year of action and a year of deep thinking too, Zach, because
Mm.
have you seen it? And we've done a lot of it together. Look, how can we add value? How can we change things for people? So I want to kind of blend the both with action and get it done in 2024. So that is what I am most excited about for us, for our clients, for the vision of the business.
And what really I'd say inspired the almost the slogan for the new year of 2024 being the year of action is and I sent it to you, I sent it to Ryan in marketing. It was a clip that I saw, and I believe it was Chris Williamson, but he was
Mm.
saying talking about the thing isn't doing the thing.
Yep.
Planning the thing isn't doing the thing. Tweeting the thing isn't doing the thing. And and I feel like as much as we did need that year transition where there was so much going on that you do have to plan at the end of the day.
Yep.
Well, I saw that and I saw that it kind of worked perfectly where with where we were at in our planning. And then I was like, that's it. 2024 is the year where we planned, we thought it out, we know what we want to do, we know how we're going to attack the different markets, we know how we're going to grow this thing, and we know how we're going to better the experience for our current clients and make it a better one for our future clients. Well,
Mm-hmm.
2024 is the year of action. It's the year where the talking goes into walking and the barking turns into biting. That's what we want for 2024. I'm extremely excited, and I'm extremely excited for everybody out there who has an idea, who has a plan, and who's going to act on it.
Yeah.
Whether it's starting your own company, or a side hustle, or a project, or even just starting a new, whether it be a charity or someone who has the goal of running a marathon this year, whatever it may be, the New Year resolutions, I am praying that they go past the month of January and you actually stick to them. And I believe that the best way to do that is to plan out your year ahead. If you have one goal, and I've tried to reduce the number of goals I had for this year to make them easier and to make it simpler. I have two goals for 2024. I'm consistent with my workouts. I'm consistent with reading. There's two things that I really want to do better in 2024. One is to have my feet on the ground within a minute of my alarm going off, because I snooze
Nice.
too much and I got into the bad habit. I went from waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to now I don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. because I
Mm-hmm.
don't have. Before I had the 9 to 5, and I had to get so much done before 9, and before I had to commit my time to someone else's company.
Yeah.
Now I have more flexibility, but now goal number one, have my feet on the ground within a minute of my alarm going off.
I love it.
Number two is to put out 52 blog posts, 52 articles about what we do and things to help other people. So those are my two goals. Very simple this year. I really narrowed it down to the two main things. If I accomplish that, I'll be extremely happy. But all that to say, and I'll leave you with the final words before I wrap it up.
Yeah.
But that's really what I'm wishing. I'm wishing that whatever project, whatever New Year's resolution, whatever goal people have, I hope that you stick to it and put a plan. You have 3 more days before the new year. Well, when you see this, it'll be January 1st. But I hope people right now actually put in a plan and gonna hold themselves accountable. Hold yourself accountable through friends, through publicly, through a story, and ask people to hold you accountable. But extremely excited for the new year. It's going to be a good one, and it's going to be a year of action.
Amen to that. Well, the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys on is, if you feel like quitting, just quit the next day. Then when that next day comes, quit the day after, and just keep pushing that back a day after the other, and you'll see that you'll just hold on to what you actually set out to do. So just don't quit today. And with that said, Happy New Year to everyone. Have a wonderful 2024, the year of action. Lots of love, success, and happiness to you all from FGNA and from our future corporate brand that's coming out in the new year. So stay tuned for that. We are extremely excited to share that with you guys.
All right, stay tuned, everybody. Happy New Year's. Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers.